Fu Xuan, the new 5-star preservation character, has just been released, and a lot of questions I see people asking are, can Fu Xuan solo sustain your team? Is Fu Xuan better than Gepard? And is Fu Xuan worth pulling? In this video, we'll dive deep into her kits and abilities, compare her with Gepard, and then discuss how her abilities work in synergy to increase the survivability of her whole team. Starting from the most unique ability Fu Xuan has is her skill. After using her skill, for 3 turns, 65% of the damage received by other allies are redirected to Fu Xuan, making her allies only receive 35% of the damage. What this means is that if an ally were to take 1000 damage for example, they would only take 350 instead, and the rest of the 650 damage will be given to Fu Xuan. Another really huge thing is that her skill grants allies 12% crit rate at level 10 for 3 turns, and this is also unique because other 5-star defensive characters released so far do not have abilities to increase offensive capabilities without eidolons. With her Trace Ascension unlocked, she can also resist 1 crowd control debuff from an enemy's action for all allies per skill usage, and this crowd control prevention is much better than crowd control cleanse, because instead of waiting the ally to be CC'd and then have their actions being delayed by frozen, imprisonment, or entanglement for example, you can immediately prevent the CC and not have the character's actions delayed. Not only that, the CC prevention works for the whole team for 1 enemy's action instead of just 1 debuff, unlike the cleanse ability that we have on Natasha or Luocha that only cleanses 1 ally. This is a really powerful ability for characters that especially dislike being CC'd like Jingyuan. Another minor effect is that her skill also increases the max HP of the allies. Her talent further decreases the damage received by all allies, including herself, by granting a damage reduction of 18% at level 10. Because of how Fu Xuan works, she will be receiving most of the damage, and so on top of the damage reduction from her talent, every time Fu Xuan's HP drops below 50%, she will heal herself for 90% of the lost HP. This self-heal has a maximum of 2 charges, and you get 1 charge when you enter battle, and you obviously lose 1 charge when Fu Xuan heals herself. The last ability Fu Xuan has that further increases her ally survivability is her ultimate. Her ultimate deals minor damage, which I think is negligible, but it restores 1 charge of her talent that allows her to self-heal, making her sustainable in longer fights. When her Ascension Trace is unlocked, using her ultimate also heals the HP of other allies by 5% of Fu Xuan's max HP plus 133, which might seem small, but is actually larger than it seems because of how effective HP work, which we will discuss later. Before we go into the comparisons, we have to understand a term that is usually used in calculating HP, effective HP. Say that an ally has 3000 HP and 900 defense, that ally can mitigate the damage they receive by 45%. This means that if an enemy only deals 3000 damage to that ally, they won't die because of the damage mitigation from their defense. Instead, the enemy would have to deal around 3000 divided by 55%, which is equal to 5454 damage. This damage needed to deplete the ally's HP after mitigation is called effective HP, and in the example given, the effective HP is 5454. This will be important in our discussions later. Gepard's primary ways of increasing the team's survivability is by aggroing the enemies with his Ascension Trace and by providing massive shields with his ultimate. With his ultimate and a well-built Gepard at 3300 defense, he can provide 8340 shield to all allies, with each ally getting 2085 shield per ultimate. For an ally with 900 defense or 45% damage reduction against level 90 enemies, this means increasing the ally's effective HP by 3790 per ultimate. With his 3300 defense and higher aggro, Gepard can also tank a lot of damage because of the defense mitigating around 75% of the damage against level 90 enemy, which means getting 8340 effective HP per ultimate. You can also expect Gepard to ultimate every 3 turns, and in 8 cycles in MOC, that will usually mean 4 ultimates, which means 25,020 shields for all allies. Fu Xuan works a little differently. Instead of providing shields to allies directly, she redirects the damage received and also reduces the damage received by all allies. This means that she uses the allies' existing HP pool to increase their effective HP. For her allies with 900 defense or 45% damage reduction against level 90 enemies and an average of 3100 HP, redirecting 65% of the damage received and reducing 18% of the remaining damage means making the allies' effective HP to 19,638 from the initial allies' effective HP of 5,636 46, which is around 3.5 times more than their original effective HP. Fu Xuan is also able to heal a little, and assuming that your Fu Xuan has 6000 HP, she will be able to heal around 433 HP for all other allies using her ultimate, which means 763 effective HP increase per ally. In an 8-cycle MOC stage, you can expect Fu Xuan to use her ultimate 3 times, healing each other ally for a total of 1299 HP. Besides that, she also increases the charge of her self-heals, which will be crucial in her own survivability. With the numbers laid out, we can see that Gepard can give each ally 3790 effective HP per ultimate, with a total of 15,160 effective HP over the course of 4 ultimates. The problem with Gepard's ultimate is that you have to wait a certain turn before increasing the effective HP of an ally. This means that after a Gepard's ult, that ally can only sustain 3790 damage before their HP starts decreasing. And to get more shields, you have to wait until the next ultimate. And by that time, your ally might have died. Fu Xuan works differently by instantly providing 14,000 effective HP to each ally. This means that at the start of the battle, without the reliance of Fu Xuan having to use her ultimate, the ally will already have enough effective HP to sustain large amount of damage. Her ultimate, she grants each ally an additional 2,290 effective HP, and with 3 ultimates in a battle, you can expect an ally to have a total of 20,800 effective HP, which is much higher than Gepard's ability to provide effective HP. As mentioned, as she provides a majority of the effective HP through damage reduction and damage redirection, you'll encounter fewer situations where your allies die if you use Gepard instead and you don't have his ultimate ready, as the damage reduction and damage redirection from Fu Xuan will have an 100% uptime. From the survivability standpoint of your other allies, Fu Xuan is no doubt better than Gepard. But one major concern that people have for Fu Xuan is her own capability to survive the damage she is receiving. As Fu Xuan scales off of max HP, most of her build will want to get more HP, but this means that she will have less defense and thus less damage mitigation. In contrast to a well-built Gepard that has 3300 defense, meaning he can mitigate 75% damage from the enemies using defense alone, Fu Xuan will mitigate much less damage using defense. But she does have her own damage reduction from a talent. But I personally think that she will also benefit from some defense as well. As such, I think that one piece of Relic using defensive percentage instead of going all out on HP will increase her effective HP more. Her best Relic combination should be the 2-piece Withering Snow that decreases damage further, and the 2-piece Longevous Disciple that increases her max HP. Her planar ornament should be the Fleet of the Ageless set that increases her own max HP too. As for energy regen rope, I think that is not needed because even without it, she can ultimate 3 times in an 8-cycle MOC stage. Her 4-star best Lightcone set would be Day 1 of My New Life, as it further decreases damage received by increasing the all-type resistance and also providing Fu Xuan with some defense percentage. The 5-star Lightcone Texture of Memories is also very good for Fu Xuan, as it is able to capitalize on Fu Xuan's large HP pool, making the shield better and making Fu Xuan survive longer. The 5-star Lightcone Moment of Victory is also good for Fu Xuan because it does increase a huge amount of defense. Her signature Lightcone is also very good because it increases a lot of HP, and if you pair it with an energy regen rope, you can ultimate 4 times instead of 3 in an 8-cycle MOC stage, making Fu Xuan able to self-heal more times, which translates to more survivability. All in all, with the right amount of defense and HP, I think that Fu Xuan should no doubt be able to survive and solo sustain even in the highest MOC stage, perhaps even better than Gepard with her self-heals. Comparing her against Luocha and Bailu is not easy because they work drastically differently. Fu Xuan essentially keeps her team alive not by restoring health, but by providing damage reductions and damage redirections. Luocha and Bailu, on the other hand, restores lost health instead. Luocha is definitely better than Bailu, and I'm sure that Fu Xuan is also better than Bailu as her damage reduction is just much better and she also has a CC prevention unlike Bailu. Compared against Luocha though, my personal opinion is that Fu Xuan will also be better slightly because of her CC prevention that denies being CC'd completely, compared to Luocha's cleanse that can only be done after a character's action is delayed. Besides that, Fu Xuan's skill will also prove to be very helpful in boosting the DPS output of your damaged characters, as she also boosts crit rate, which Luocha and Bailu do not do. All in all, I think that Fu Xuan is a very solid pull. I don't think that anyone should be worrying about Fu Xuan not being able to self-sustain the team in the later stages of MOC because she can outperform Gepard, who is already enough for the current MOC. Besides that, I also think that she will be quite future-proof with her CC prevention and also her ability to increase the crit rate of your DPS characters. That's all I have for today's guide. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.